Salutations, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. V back with a special edition of Age of Empires 3. This past Sunday, I had the privilege of casting the grand finals of the ESOC Autumn Championships with Kenoki, a fantastic French caster, and it was a best of 9 between Julian K and Kaiser Klein, two of the best guys to ever do it, and the first game was so amazing that I asked ESOC if I could upload it to my channel and show it to you guys as a bit of a teaser for the rest of the series, and they said yes. So, this is game 1 of that finals. If you want to see the full series, you're going to have to go watch the Twitch VOD from ESOC or wait for it to be uploaded on the ESOC TV YouTube channel. I'll link both in the description below. But with all of that said, enjoy the match. And ladies and gentlemen, here we are in game 1 of the ESOC Autumn Championships. We are on Arctic territories for game 1. Let's dive right into the player intros. In the bottom of the map, playing in the color cyan or teal or whatever you want to call it, we have Julian K playing as the Brits, and his mighty opponent in the top of the map playing in the color blue as the Germans. It is Kaiser Klein. Game 1, there's a lot of hype. Kenoki, how do you feel about this matchup, and especially these players playing these particular civs?
Kaiser Klein starting with basically his main squeeze, I have to say, bringing the big guns immediately, and that's very, very smart in that format. When you look at how the games play, if you win the first game, you have a huge advantage over your opponent. So I really like the fact that he's going he's not, keeping Germany for later on. However, when it comes to the matchup, we can see that Brit is already going into a TP. We are likely going to see GMT. And I have to say, I have absolutely zero idea how this is going to pan out. I would give an advantage to the GMT over the German, basically, if the German plays standard. But at the same time, Germany can go for that bow pike rush very early and try to push GMT off, basically, of its game plan. So will be interesting to see how both players battle it out. And it's not going to be a GMT. It might be a Virginia company.
Boy.
Interesting.
Okay,
going
so
for a TP that early.
We have a potential manor boom here. Now, one thing I wanted to ask you about is, okay, Arctic territory is not known for its abundance of food, and there's certainly a lot of distance between, you know, your second, third, fourth hunts. So does Britain have a bit of a disadvantage here, needing so much food, whereas Germany can rely on less hunts to get their game going?
I would say yes. That might be an issue, especially because you usually have to go on that left side in order to find some food that is nearby, and it opens you to Ulan Reds in particular. So we will see how it goes for Julian K right there, especially, if you want to place those manors in order to have some vision, you have to place them so far away from your base on that left side in order to get some vision. Kaiser Klein picked up a huge food treasure, by the way, while we were presenting the matchup. 120 food. That's going to be massive for his edge up time. He's going to edge up with 16 villager right there, 0 idle time, and he's likely going to click at 240. Yeah, there you go. 235 even. That's extremely quick for Germany right there.
Yeah, he's certainly going to love that start. And you mentioned Vision, Julian K also picking up that native scout. So both players getting some pretty useful treasures here in Age 1. But we'll see how quickly this manor boom starts, to get going. And we'll see what kind of defense Julian decides to go for. Do you think he starts Cav? Does he start Musk? Does he just go pure eco greed, rely on maybe an outpost and a TC fire? Does he even make any military units at all for the first part of the game?
To me, when you're playing against Germany, you have to respond in some way to the Ulans, because if you just rely on outpost and TC fire, if the German player is conservative enough, 2 Ulans, you can push them back with an outpost and TC fire. 4 Ulans, it becomes complicated. 6 Ulans, you cannot. It's like a ball that keeps rolling and rolling and becoming bigger and bigger. And that's why I think he has to respond in some way. But before that, he can go into some kind of a boom. We can see that he's getting some manors towards the south in order to hunt right there, to hurt, the hunt. Same at the north, trying to get some vision. I don't think he would be ultra aggressive with those manors, because the Ulans will come very, very quick, as we saw. Kaiser Klein has an excellent timing right there. So we might see kind of a very defensive Virginia company usage right there. And probably a few musk in order to defend. Don't need a lot, but just 5 musk in order to make sure the Cav mass is under control. In one way or another.
We're looking to see a really standard start here from Kaiser Klein's Germany. I don't think it's going to be anything too out of the box. Sent 2 Settler Wagon, followed by 3 Settler Wagon. And we'll have to see if he goes immediately for the 700 coin, maybe tries to throw in something in between like 700 wood. But we do see a stable start. And I think you're exactly right. Those Ulans are going to be coming out. And if there's anything we know about Kaiser Klein's Germany, it's that he has great Ulan control. He's not going to throw them away needlessly. He's going to get the most use out of them and hopefully keep as many alive as possible to get those into vet status when he reaches age 3.
Indeed, and we can see very. I have to compliment the base building right there by Kaiser Klein. Extremely defensive, even if he's in a matchup in which he will potentially have tempo in the early game. We can see very defensive layout of the base right there, in case there is some kind of a mass behind this on the side of Julian K. So I really like that. He's gonna avoid the outpost with both of the Ulans, and he's gonna go straight for the hunt on the south. Is he gonna catch a villager? I'm not sure, because there are no villagers here. Very nicely played here by Julian K, but careful, this villager just at the south.
On this southern hunt. Oh, pikes coming out at just the right time. That's going to be just enough pikes to keep those 2 Ulans at bay. And if that had been a full 5 Ulans, I'm sure they just would have battered those down and then immediately killed that villager. But now Kaiser Klein sees it. We see if he follows up.
5 Ulans behind this, 5 Ulan shipment coming in. Kaiser Klein is looking to keep pounding on his opponent, to keep trying to find those openings. He's gonna go for the TP straight away. I'm not sure that's the correct play in a way, because like it gives Julian K, breathing room. He doesn't have to be as careful right now. He knows where the Ulan are, and he can just safely mass and safely grid behind this. Expose his villager a bit in order to herd and stuff. But hey, at least he's bringing the pike outside of the base. We can see that Julian K couldn't herd the hunt that is towards the south. The hunt is going very backward at this point. Same towards the north side. We can see 2 lands going there. They have been scouted by scout, by the way. And now we are going to see the echo from the Brit. As you said, struggling to get some hunts. There is only 1 hunt under the CC, and it might be an issue in a minute or 2. While 2 villagers might go down, 1 villager is going down. He needs to save the Ulans, though. 1 Ulan is going to go down. 1 Ulan, 2 Ulans maybe. Yeah, 2 Ulans for 1 Vil. Perfectly fine at that point in the game. Even if versus Brit, it's not as good, it's still a good trade right there, I would say.
1 Vil certainly going to be a good pickup for Kaiser, but I mean, the one thing we can say for Julian is the type of hunts he does have under his TC. I mean, these are moose, right? They do have a lot of food. He is getting his market upgrades. I just saw Gang Saw come in during that raid, and he's done a really good job keeping those Ulans from really keeping his Vils build up for too long. So yeah, lost 1 Vil, definitely going to be bad for him, but not bad considering he's going to be close to 160, 170 manor pop here. Look at the manors going down.
Indeed, and I love how he's getting those manors in front of his hunt in order, like if the Ulans have to go through this, it's going to be really hard for them to maneuver between the manors and the pikes. So that's a really cool cool layout, basically base layout right there. We can see 2 Ulans at the north trying to find an opening, but just enough pikes in order to deter. And I have to say, I really like this pike play by Julian K. Very smooth, very clean. And for now, basically untouched. 1 villager is not enough, to justify all of those Ulans going out. However, behind this, Kaiser Klein is H3. He is shipping the 8 skirmisher, and that's where the pressure is really going to start to add up, because suddenly those spikes, they cannot stand in front of those Ulans, and they cannot deter those Ulans anymore because the skirmisher are going to pick them off.
And one thing to point out here, we do see that Julian K is macroing for an age up himself. He does have the necessary, he does now have it in. But one thing about Brit that makes them a little bit weaker is they don't have that fast age up. So it's going to be at least, 60, maybe even 90 seconds before he hits age 3. Yeah. And he's going to have to pay for all of those veteran upgrades, right? Veteran longbow, veteran musketeer, veteran hussar. And that's going to be really expensive. And hopefully his big economy that he's been juicing up here is going to be enough to do it. But that's a lot of Ulans coming down the field.
17 Ulans at 9 minutes into the game with 8 skirmisher. Guys, more stuff tends to be bit less stuff, so that's going to be a rough time right there for Julian K. Yeah. Is he going to siege the outpost? I think he is. Yes, We can see some nice wall from Julian K. I really like this. Very, very nicely played right there. He has a hunt towards the south. However, a lot of villagers are maggoting towards the north. He figures out, and he's going to move them down right there. He needs to be careful, though, because those Ulans, they are going to squeeze in between those manor. They're going to find ways to go through, going to siege this palisade wall right there and try to enter into the base. Another wall is going to come up. Two more walls are going to come up. Very nice base building right there by Julian K. It's insane.
Here. Yeah, he's making this almost impenetrable wall of pikes, and this way he's able to keep so many vills working here on the back coin mines and even on the trees. And so he's trying to get up as many resources as he can for when he reaches age 3, but because of that slow age up, it's still going to be quite a bit of time before he gets there. And what is he going to be slamming out first? Can we get another look at his deck, MFD?
Mate. Can we just, like, how good is Julian K? Like, for real? When it comes to the base building, like the wall placement, the wall timing, like, this is really hard to do. Like, I mean, it seems simple, but, like, it's extremely hard to do. You know, you have to have the forward thinking of doing that. Like, it's insane. He also saved the mine at the south, so he has access to gold if he wants to. Like, man, Julian K is a beast. Like, of course, he's in the final, but... Holy moly, you know? Like,
look at how much time he's bought himself. He's bought himself at least a minute and a half without combat. And if there were no walls here, this army under his town center would get absolutely spanked, right? These are age 2 pikes, a couple of age 2 musks, and that horde of longbow would just get eaten alive. But because of this smart walling in his base building, you know, I think he's going to make it to age 3 safely, and even going to get veteran musketeers, shipping 9 musketeers as well. I think he's survived.
I mean, he's completely fine at this point. He's completely fine. He's outmassing almost his opponent, despite playing Brits in this matchup. He has more villages. He has more eco. I mean, all good. The only thing though is hunt. Like, he will need to find another hunt. He will need to go out of his base, and that's the moment in which it can be, you know, a bit iffy. It's when you are looking for that third hunt. That may be the moment in which Kaiserklein finally finds the opening. Remember, guys, it's always very swingy with Germany. Just one Ulan raid can completely swing the game, so never count Germany out. But at that point, Julian K is in a really solid position. And if he keeps, you know, slowly crawling like he has been doing, and basically not trying to rush for hunts and like keep that forward thinking, keep that slow expansion, it's gonna be fine. However, Kaiserklein can't see this on his minimap. He knows that the hunt just moved.
That train of Ulans is terrifying. 28 veteran Ulans. Gonna try to poke into this base once again, but the walls are still standing, and now we have veteran musketeers to hold them at bay. There are still some pikes mixed in. There's a good number of longbow to try to deal with the skirms that are going to be accompanying this calf. And are we going to get a big fight here? We'll have to see if he charges in after taking this market.
I don't think
gonna pull back.
Yeah, he's gonna pull back. He's gonna pull back. Nice shots right there. We can see during that entire exchange, Julian K is gaining access to a hunt, which is critical, guys. I cannot stress enough how critical it is. Maybe we have a fight right there. We can see the Ulans are committing, and behind this, the skirmisher. They are gonna target all of those spikes. They are gonna target all of the musketeer. Kaiserklein has to peel back though. He has to kite a little bit, wait for his skirmisher to do the damage, and that's the commit.
10 reinforcing veteran hussars, but I think the veteran Ulans are still doing
so
work here.
It's insane, and the war wagons, they are shooting those hussars like they are piñatas basically. We can see Ulans are still there. Is there a batch of Ulans coming behind this? No, there is not. So that's all of the army there is for Kaiserklein. There will be no reinforcement, and that's going to be critical in this defense. However, Julian K cannot push out. He doesn't have the musketeer mass in order to keep those Ulans at bay for long enough. So he has to be very careful with his unit right there, and he cannot chase. Like, chasing here will be crazy. Yeah, there you go. He's going back.
Really nice decision by him to pull back there. I think it was tempting for him to try to pick off more of those skirms since, you know, they don't trade as well with his longbows. But you're right, Kaiserklein was very intentionally poking at those muskets, hoping that he could get them down to a number that he could send his Ulan in. And now following up with 9 more Ulans. So, I mean, Julian K did take a nice fight there, did get a good trade, but certainly not out of it yet. He needs to keep securing these hunts, and he needs to keep making sure he has a sufficient amount of anti-cap.
We might have a huge raid on the north side right there, because it has been ding 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 for Kaiserklein for the last 30 seconds. Is Julian K is going around the vision right there. We can see he missed it. Kazakhstan missed the two hussars, and the two hussars they are gonna go straight on the settler wagon. If one of those settler wagon falls, it's huge, guys. It's basically the equivalent of 2 villagers. One settler wagon is gonna go down. The second one is gonna survive very likely, but like for 2 hussars, completely worth. A settler wagon that cannot be retrained, it's huge. Absolutely huge right there. And we can see in the meantime Kazakhstan is keeping the pressure, but that longbow mass is becoming really scary, and it's gonna slowly be able to push out those skirmishers. Does he have the tech already, the card already for the range?
He does not.
Yet.
I am a little bit worried about the fact that the Musketeer mass is still not quite as large, and the Ulan numbers are still quite scary. He does have some Vet Hussar, which do so well at tanking, even against Vet Ulan. And so I don't know if Julian's going to be content here to stay in his base and let Kaiser come to him, or if he's going to have to eventually, start pushing out. The hunts in his base are looking really scarce, and the next closest hunt is on the south side of the map, right where Kaiser's army is parked.
Yeah, going on the north side would be very scary right there for Julian K. Maybe he will, but I don't think. So I think he's looking to take control of the south side. That's what he's doing right now with his army. And sure, he doesn't have a lot of musketeer, but the main thing is he needs to win the skirm war in order for his musketeer to move forward. So if he makes too many musketeers, then he loses the skirm war, and those musketeers are going to get picked. Yeah,
look
very
at that, Kenoki. I think he just got, what, 6, 7 skirms there for absolutely free?
Yeah. That was a shipment, or what? That was
7 skirms,
yeah, that's big. That's actually big. It's going to make sure that those longbows are going to win those exchange now. And Julian K, just in time, to be able to expand on the south side. What I would love to see right there from him is an outpost or something that gives him vision right there, more than units basically, in order to get vision on that hill and make sure that he can see what his opponent movements are, even if his units are moving out of the position. Basically.
Ready.
Yeah, and something else to point out here is those little catches, right, that Julian's getting, against an emotional player like Kaiser, that can really start to affect his gameplay, right? Oh, another settler wagon going down, maybe going to lose another Vil here as well.
Yes.
And Julian doing such a good job checking these coin mines. He knows that Germany eats through coin mines just so rapidly, and so he's continuing to pressure those with his Hussar, and now getting 2 settler wagons along with the batch of 7 skirms, only for the loss of basically 2 Hussars. That's an amazing trade.
Yeah, it's an amazing trade indeed, and we can see those longbows, they are gonna win the skirmisher war completely. As you said, it's basically, it's like English is playing Germany, but in reverse. You know what I mean? The Spider-Man meme? That's basically what it is right now. Germany is getting outrated because, like, Julian K, one thing, once again, it seems simple, but he has been able to slow the game down to a pace that is comfortable for English. And like, Germany wants the game to go crazy. They want the game to go raid on the right, raid on the left, etc., etc. That's not how the game is being played right there. It's a very static game in which Germany is not as good as the English.
Oh, but
however,
look at this, Kenoki. He might take the engagement.
No,
Oh,
wait, the Hussars? No. That's too many war wagons right there. He needs to defend this position. Nice Hussar at the back, and that's gonna be the fight.
Oh,
Huge fight!
It's engaging.
Oh,
He's gonna push him off. I think
The
Kaiser's
Uhlans,
just
the
gonna
Uhlans.
dive in here.
The villagers on the south side. They are
Vil
caught in
pull?
between. Wait.
Oh, he might Vil pull to tank damage. Yes, he's Vil pulling to try to take damage from these skirmishers. Let's see what happens. The longbow's getting kind of mixed in, but there's still so many veteran Hussar. War wagons doing damage in the back. Skirmishers trying to kite. It's so chaotic in all the trees. I can't tell what's going on, Kenoki.
Me neither. And the big thing is how is the musketeer mass looking? That's the big thing. That's the big information that we need. Raid on the south side. More settler wagons are gonna go down. That's game. If Julian K survives for 2 more minutes, that's basically game at this point. We can see he's picking off. Sure, Kazakhstan is picking off a few villagers, but those villagers
and
are
sending
way
musketeer
less
attack
valuable.
on top of this as well. That's going to be so good. It's going to make his
Oh, yeah.
musketeers even better at melting
25.
these Ulans.
25 musketeer, that's going to be more than enough to push out those Ulans, especially with that Hussar mass on top.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking really good here for Julian. The fact that he's been able to pick off 3 settler wagons without getting punished himself. I mean, if we look back at the amount of vills that have been killed for Brit, we
Full
saw that
Uhlans.
one really early, but now we're going to see the engagement here in the middle of the map, and the Uhlans are getting engaged, but they're not able to get on the longbows at all. Look at the musketeers mixed in, and all of the Uhlans are starting to fall. There are no more Uhlan shipments. Vills being pulled, war wagons going down to the longbows, and this is going to be a clean sweep for Julian.
It looks like it. It looks like it. Yeah. The Ulan mass is completely down. We can see, as you said, the war wagons, they cannot hold versus that many crossbows, and very like you could say, yo, but Julien K is not putting his musketeer in melee. Why is that? Because no, he's keeping his mass alive, because as long as that mass of musketeer is alive, those longbows can still DPS, and we can see immediately Julien K after the fight, looking for the raid immediately. So smart by him. His army is not staying idle. That's a discussion I had on the previous. Like, insane. Like, Julian K, insane. Making it
Yeah.
look easy.
That was
Like,
that was a great
insane.
impression of while you were talking about the Musks. That was a great impression of Lionheart, by the way. You sounded just like him.
Did I? I hope not. I hope not.
But that was such a good hold. The walls won that game
Yeah.
absolutely for Julian. If those Uhlans had slammed in against that little batch of pikes, he would have been absolutely obliterated. But the walls, the manners, the pike blocking that one gap, so good from Julian K.
Yeah. I mean, could we see the gathering? I would love to see the gathering, because I think, yeah, as we can see, Julian K out-gathering his opponent by a mile here, because his boom paid off, basically. He was able to really slow the game down with those manor positioning, with those walls, slow the game down, make sure that Germany cannot get the game into chaos. And that was it, really. After that, Kaiser Klein was dragged into a game that was not the one he was looking for. You know, those big fights,
Oh,
they
man.
favor English.
Look at
So
these-
really
look at
impressive
these-
game right there.
Look at these dips, Kenoki, in the villager unit population for Kaiser. You can see exactly where those settler wagons get taken down, and then that huge raid at the end. And wow, nearly 60 vills for Julian K. And very few losses. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, he lost like 1 here at the beginning, but then, I mean, I don't see any vill losses until the end there where he pulled a ton. So
Yeah.
Julian K looking to be in top form, but Kaiser Klein certainly had him on the ropes there for a minute. So definitely going to be a good series. 459 people currently in chat. That is absolute insanity.
Indeed, and that's only the first game.